The Shadow Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, is in Wellingborough to unveil Labour's poster campaign on the Tories' tax cuts.
Just a few minutes ago, she began speaking to party activists. Let's take a listen to what she said.
Well, thank you very much, Jonathan, and it's wonderful to be here with all of you in Wellingborough today to expose Rishi Sunak's raw deal after 25 Tory tax rises. And despite the changes in the autumn statement, for every 10p that they have increased taxes on working people, they are only giving 2p back. It is a drop in the ocean. Working people are worse off under the Tories. £1,200 for an average family extra tax this year because of choices by Rishi Sunak and this Conservative government. Never have people paid so much in tax and got so little in return in the form of public services. It is time for change in Britain, time for a fresh start. And there is an alternative, a changed Labour Party under Keir Starmer's leadership, a party that is once again in the service of working people, a comprehensive plan to grow our economy so we can improve living standards, a plan to invest in our public services, our schools and our hospitals to ensure that they work properly again after 14 years of Conservative neglect. And a plan to end the cronyism, the dodgy contracts, the chaos and the waste that Rishi Sunak and these Conservatives have presided over for too long. And never again will we have a situation like we did under Liz Truss and the Conservatives with unfunded tax cuts that brought our economy to its knees and for which working people are paying the price again. I will never play fast and loose with the public finances, because when you do, you play fast and loose with the family finances of British people. Labour will never do that. I will never do that. This is the year of choice. The year that the British people will give their verdict on Rishi Sunak and 14 years of Conservative government. And Rishi Sunak can bottle it as much as he wants, but we say bring it on. It is time for a general election. It is time for the British people to decide. And as people make that choice, they will ask themselves these questions. Are me and my family better off after 14 years of Conservative government? Are our schools, our hospitals, our transport, our police, are they working better than when the Conservatives came to office 14 years ago? I mean, frankly, is anything in Britain working better today when the Conservatives came to office 14 years ago? The answers to those questions is no. And imagine what Britain would look like if they were given another 5 years. Another 5 years of instability and chaos. Another 5 years of deteriorating living standards. Another 5 years of our schools and our hospitals dragged down and down because of these Conservative government choices. So it is time for change. It's a time for a fresh start in Wellingborough, and it's a time for a fresh start right across the UK with a Labour government in the service of working people. Thank you very much.
Joining us now from Westminster is our political correspondent, Catherine Forster, who can react to what the Shadow Chancellor, Rachel Reeves, had to say. I was listening to her, Catherine, but I was also drawn to the poster behind Rachel Reeves, talking about Rishi's raw deal and saying that families will be £1,200 worse off, they claim.
Yes, the general election might be not coming till the second half of the year, potentially November. It's a very long way away, but it does feel like the campaigns have already launched. MPs are not even back in Westminster yet, but we've heard from Sir Keir Starmer, we've heard from Rishi Sunak, we've heard from Reform, we've heard from the Lib Dems, and today, Labour hitting the Tories with this poster campaign they've unveiled in Wellingborough. This poster on the side of a bus, Rishi Sunak's, basically saying that every household is £1,200 worse off under this government, and for every 10p that they've taken in taxes, they're only giving 2 2p back. So the gloves are already coming off. Rachel Reeves saying, bring it on, stressing the Conservatives' record. She's saying, and I think this will be Labour's central message fundamentally, does your family feel better off than they did 13, 14 years ago when the Conservatives came to power? Do you think that Britain is working better? At the moment, the Labour Party is pretty sure that most people will say that the answer is no. Now, Rishi Sunak, very keen to trumpet this tax cut in national insurance coming in tomorrow that was heralded in the autumn statement. Hints of tax cuts coming in the spring budget. But Labour pointing out that despite this 2p cut in national insurance, in fact, taxes have still gone up, they say 25 times. And the Institute for Fiscal Studies saying that the autumn statement was the biggest tax rising parliament in modern times that we're currently in, despite this 2p cut that's coming. So lots of people worried about what Labour might do with tax and spend. But at the moment, Labour feel that the Conservatives' record on this is not too good either.
Yeah, Catherine, the Tories would, of course, say that people feel worse off financially because we've had crippling inflation from COVID and wars and whatever else. But actually, Keir Starmer yesterday hinted that he wouldn't that economic growth would precede any tax cuts from Labour's point of view. So if Labour aren't committing to tax cuts and they're just going to carry on in the same fashion as the Tories, what's the dividing line there? What have they got to serve up?
Well, they're very, very worried about being seen as being reckless. I think somebody shouted something about more debt shortly after that poster in Wellingborough was unveiled, because Labour traditionally have been quite big spenders. We've already got a huge national debt of £2.6 trillion. So Labour want to be seen as going to be super, super careful. And yeah, they're saying we're not going to promise tax cuts because we have to get the growth first, and the growth they think is going to come from green investment. But this 28 billion that they had originally pledged, they're rowing back on when that might happen, or, you know, that's subject to all sorts of fiscal rules. So it's difficult, to be honest. Whoever is in charge after the next election, there's not a lot of money around. There's going to be very difficult choices being made. And there are plenty of people going towards reform, for example, who really feel that there's not much to pick between the Conservatives and the Labour Party, and plenty of people feeling fairly disillusioned with a lot of them.
Great stuff. Catherine Forster in Westminster, thank you very much.